What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are going to be talking about 8 different coins today, 8 different altcoins. Ethereum, I think, has earned its right to not be called an altcoin. We are going to talk about Ethereum today too, but there's a couple of people who had requests that have been lingering that I actually didn't see their comments. I just went through it today. YouTube, for some reason, hides some comments, I guess, whenever I'm looking at it through the YouTube studio. I had to go through like a different means to like find these comments. For some reason they wouldn't show up, but whenever I went looking, whenever I went digging, I could find them. So the faithful citizen, we're going to be starting with DPAY for you, and let's see, who is it? Mr. DP, we're going to be talking about XDC also. We're going to be talking about those first. And then we're going to move down the line for the Fonz. We'll be talking about Ethereum Classic. Ben G, we'll talk about WTK, MPLI, Celos, JKL, and ARB on the Solana blockchain for ARB. And for Corey Martinez, we're going to be talking about the potential for Ethereum. And finishing it all up with Sampa Farrugia. I think that's how, I don't know, Sampa Farrugia or Sampa Farrugia. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's the first way I said it. But anyways, we'll be talking about Blue Zell to finish it off. So that's actually 9 different coins. 8 of them I'll be able to pull up on TradingView. But anyways, without any further ado, let's get into this today, you guys. I will add timestamps. I might post the video first, so if you watch this thing early, you might not see the timestamps, but I'll post it just to get it out there, and then I'll try to get the timestamps in accordance afterwards. But we're starting off with this right now, DPAY. So looking at this thing here, I've never heard of this before. All I could find on it for DPAY, if we type it in here, is it's a stock traded on the, I don't know what any of these are, some foreign exchanges, or we have the Uniswap crypto. So I'm going to use this one here. That's what we're on. It's wrapped on Ethereum, so this is not valued in dollars. But for what we have, for what the dexes are, at least versus Ethereum, we can tell if this is going to gain or lose. Oh, it says in USD though. Maybe it is in US dollars. Let's see. Let's look it up on CoinGecko real quick. DPAY. Devour. Yeah, that lines up. Okay, cool. So this is on US dollars. That's nice to see. Okay, so looking at this thing on the weekly time frame, you've got a bullish looking RSI, definitely in strong readings. You're in the bullish area of control. Very nice breakout candle here with pretty substantial volume. No, it's not the most volume you've ever seen, but it's pretty substantial from like what you've seen relatively speaking. So good move there from all-time high to the low that you had here. You're up at your 382 and you're moving past it, man. You grinded it and you're moving past. I would bet this thing wants to continue higher, probably up to the 618. If crypto takes a shit, and I've been talking about this in multiple videos, like basically since the beginning of this month, I've talked about this a lot. I know I didn't talk about it too much yesterday, but I have talked about it plenty of times where I think we're going to get some kind of drop this month that's going to result in like a 26% or greater drop for Bitcoin and a 34% or greater drop for the average altcoin. Not for all altcoins. Some will drop more, some will drop less, some will continue to go up even. So it's just kind of an average thing. And, I've got my videos for that. If you want to see the reason why I'm saying that in the first place, you can go to my video, where is it, content here. If you scroll down on my videos, I know I have a few, they're down here, but this one, it stands out from the rest, right? I actually have a template put on it for the thumbnail. Bitcoin November analysis and altcoins are in trouble video. If you haven't seen those videos, that can shine a light as to why I think we do have an impending drop, a rather sizable drop for the crypto markets coming this month in November. But I think we're going to recover very phenomenally and very fantastically. It's gonna be over as soon as it starts, really. So just an opportunity, a buy the dip opportunity. But without any more of that, back to the TA. Looking at this thing again, the RSI is very strong. I like what you're doing with your 382. This would kind of indicate to me that your next move would be up here to the 61869 area, which would be 40% of a penny to 46% of a penny. 2 zeros, 4 6, 2 zeros, 4, something like that. Again, assuming that November drop doesn't like get in your way and besmirch what you're trying to do here. you very well could continue to move higher, and then ultimately maybe you see a 34% drop all the way back to your 236, and then have a nice recovery up there. I wouldn't be too surprised if on your way up to the 61869 area, if crypto took a big shit in that time. But ultimately, I do think you're going here, and you probably go higher. You know, it is getting to be that time in the markets where random altcoins and just everything in general starts to move up again, and then we'll have some stagnation leading into the halving. But I do think this is a totally possible price area to see by the end of the year. If not potentially higher. You know, this thing does have a very low market cap, $2 million, very low on the rankings. It's only available on Uniswap. Maybe it's available on some other places. You know, TradingView doesn't list everything that it's available on, but not too many places, few and far between. So liquidity is going to be hard to come by. Though recently it seems that there's been more liquidity than on average. Let's see. I mean, yeah, your 24-hour volume is $14,500 here, so that's really not too much. If you're trying to buy $20,000 worth of this coin, you'd probably pump it a sizable bit, but then you try to sell it, there's not going to be $20,000 worth of liquidity there. You know, here we are at above. I guess this week we're not at above average volume. I guess this like last 24-hour period we aren't really. But, you know, even then, like, oh my goodness, I have to sneeze. This week right now is about half the size of this here, so overall it's a very low liquidity asset. It's going to be hard to get into at this current price. It'll be hard to sell at its current price too if you're using larger amounts. So just be aware of that. But it looks good. It looks good. All in all, you know, long explanation to say it looks good. Daily RSI looks strong. It's been strong, man. It definitely looks like it wants to go higher. Seeing the volume like this on a breakout like that is not encouraging. I won't hold it against you because this is, you know, on a DEX, but I don't necessarily like that. You could be doing a 3 bearish drives right now up to your 1618 there, top to bottom. If you go up to your 1618 and turn around there, that could be a 3 bearish drives pattern, in which case you'd look to go all the way back to this low point here. But that's yet to be seen. So anyways, that's all I got for this one. Let's move on to the next one, which I believe is XDC. Yes, for Mr. DP, for Dr. Pepper himself. XDC USD. We'll talk about it on KuCoin. Yes, KuCoin here. Would you look at that? You got back above 5 cents. Nice rallying with the rest of the market. It's good to see. I think the last video that I made on this thing, it was probably before this day here. You guys know I've been bearish on XDC for quite some time, right? Since the highs over here. To be fair, I was bearish on it on this week, and it just went up fantastically even after I was bearish on it. But it did ultimately go to the prices I was expecting it to go to. I think my first video talking about XDC, I was talking about it going to 4.6 cents, and it actually went like right at 4.48 cents, so pretty close. This is a bearish looking week right now. The weekly RSI in itself does look pretty constructive, but I don't know, man. Rather neutral, aren't you? And you're at a kind of precarious. I don't know. You could stand to go lower on the price and still be okay. When I say lower, I don't mean lower than that low, but lower from here. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this thing. You know, I mean, if you want to keep it at like a parallel channel kind of thing, you could go all the way down here maybe. What are you doing on a fib basis? Top to bottom, you didn't even hit your 382. That's not a good look, man. That's actually really not a good look, and you're below your 236 right now. This would have me worried, XDC holders. Beware, you guys. I'm not saying sell. I'm just definitely not saying FOMO in right now. None of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I just, you know, I do charts, man. I look at charts. I'm a technical analyst. That's, you know, I've been doing this for like going on 7 years now, but I can be right. I've been right before. I can be wrong. I've been wrong before. Go through my last week of videos. I'm sure you'll see proof of both of those things. But anyways, looking at this thing from top to bottom, not even being able to see your 382, that is a sign of weakness from a fib perspective. And you did show respect on your 236, and you even had the move above it, the breakout move like this. You couldn't. This is actually a really bearish look, man. I would, with this alone, expect that you would see some kind of extension from this low to this relative high here, which would take you that 1272 to 1414. If you were to grind down, maybe not just shit the bed and drop down, but like more or less kind of making still a pretty quick effort down there, you could see support in this area right on this ascending trend line too. And, you know, I'm not really a big fan of these trend lines, these diagonal lines. So if you break it, don't be scared. You still have the 1618 down there, but I would think that prices below 4.2 cents are completely possible. At this point in time, I'd say they are completely possible. You did get into your overbought zone, but this isn't necessarily a good look either. Yeah, the daily RSI, man, actually does look a little scary to me. The weekly is a little bit more bullish, but it leaves room to come down for sure. Yeah, man, you might be in trouble, XDC. You might be going below 4.2 cents here, potentially all the way down to about like 3.8 cents even. But I would more stick to that like 4 to 4.2 cent area. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen, and that'll probably happen. I mean, with the way this looks, that would happen by the end of the year. That wouldn't necessarily be a good thing, man. Maybe you do have a more dramatic drop. I would think this thing has a recovery and a pump by the end of the year. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's December. Okay, so that would work still. You could pump up in December. Again, guys, I think the drop that most cryptos are about to experience, it's going to have a recovery much in the same shape, just in the opposite direction. Like, you're going to see some V-shaped recoveries after these drops this month. But that's all I got for XDC. It does look a little bit concerning. I want to see if I can get actually another angle on this maybe. 4-hour RSI looks weak. Yeah, man, you're picking up volume as you're moving down. I think it does want to go lower. You got above your purple line? I wonder. Let's see. I bet you're below the 50 on your 123. Let's see here. Did I do it? You are. No, you're not. You're above your 50. Okay. Not a normal move. But being above your 50 after being below the purple line like this and you're struggling to stay above, that's not necessarily a good sign either. This might just be one of those exceptions where you are above your 50 on the long-term RSI and below your purple line, but it actually might be the real deal to the downside. I wonder, from this relative top to this low, 618, man. And you're below your 382 right now. Yeah, I mean, this day closing red, you know, as the days kind of come further into it, you know, it'll be more obvious. There is still a little bit of hope. You are kind of at an area you found resistance. You have the 382 support on this relative fib, an area of support over here. You could have hope. Really what you need to see, though, is a day that closes above 5.7 cents. If not, if you close below like 5.1 cents, which you're a lot closer to now, it's pretty much like validated that you're going to go lower than this low, and again probably around 4 to 4.2 cents. Anyways, moving on from there, the next one to talk about, what was it? It was ETC for the Fonz. We're talking about ETC, Ethereum Classic. He didn't really request this one, Fonzie. You didn't request this, but you did mention it, so I take that as a hint that you might want to see some talks on it. Nice week. Definitely a nice week to have. Overall, a kind of bearish formation, right? You had like this descending triangle look, and I think you've destroyed that at this point in time. What are you doing? What are you doing on Binance? Let's see. For volume's sake, yeah, above average volume. It doesn't look like a whole lot of volume, and sure, in the history of this thing, it's not a whole lot of volume. But I mean, it's more volume than you've experienced in months at this point in time, and you're moving up. Pretty legitimate to me. The weekly long-term RSI, you are right around the 50, man. This could be good for a move that would take you. You're at 21 now. You might be making a move up above $30, assuming you don't get knocked down by that November drop that I think is an inevitability at this point. I think today's price action across the board really added some legitimacy to that. Keep going. Don't stop here. Because if you stop here, you could reject your overbought zone. You did that last time, just like this, right? And that was the end of your move up. Rather convincing move. Didn't have volume for a while. A lot of volume came in. Rather convincing move above the purple line even. But you didn't continue. You rejected there. Not a good look. So I think I said day. Close this week. Close this week above here. You still have 2 days and 19 hours. Get into the overbought zone. And even then, it's not completely safe, but it would be a better look than what you've got now. If you went up in the next 3 days, essentially, and then you came back down to like this area and closed the week down here, that would really not be a good look, man. So just keep going. Keep going. On the daily here, daily looks constructive. Daily RSI, yeah, looks nice, man. You've been overbought for a while, but you're just getting your legs, man. I mean, if you were to go down from here, it wouldn't be too crazy. Like today or tomorrow, if you were to go, you're at 21.42, maybe you could go all the way back down to around $19, but then still end up closing this week in the green. You know, again, if you close the week lower than here, that's not necessarily a problem because you wouldn't be looking like you're rejecting off this overbought zone. If you close lower than here, this RSI would actually be like down around here, you know, like a little bit lower or lower. It wouldn't be like right at the overbought zone. It wouldn't be good either way to like just turn around from any of those zones, but this setup is pretty classic, not just for this chart, but for a lot of charts. So going a little bit lower right now wouldn't be too condemning. It would be closing at this area and then going lower after this week closes. That would be the condemning thing. I know that might not seem like a big deal, but it is. It definitely is. So, and I don't know if that made too much sense or not. I'm trying to make sense. But here, look at this, man. Big candle, most volume you've seen. It looks real, man. It really does look real. This RSI is really nice on the daily. I would think you want to go higher from here. Maybe you have, again, maybe you're at 21 cents now, maybe, or $21. Maybe you have a pullback to about $19. That's okay. Don't be scared. A little bit of bearish divergence on your 4 hour. You still have 2 hours, 43 minutes left. That can definitely change. All in all, again, you know, just like this one here, you came down, but you ultimately went up. If you come down here and then you ultimately go up, it's nothing to be scared of. So just another like kind of buy the dip opportunity. Where are you going to go? I think, again, somewhere around this purple line, somewhere above $30 from here, probably in a relatively short amount of time, sometime in the next week or two. Assuming that November drop doesn't affect you too much, then yeah, you'll probably see that. Let's see if we can make any sense out of that on this fib here. I mean, hey, your 61869 area right there at about 28 to 30 and a half dollars, somewhere up there. I feel like I keep saying cents. I mean dollars. There's a lot of cryptos that are in cents though. I wonder. Let's see. Let's go to the crypto for some history here. Yeah. Yeah, you found support. You held this area, which looked rather bearish, flat with descending highs. This move to me, though, makes this look a lot less bearish now, because really what you did was you held an area as support that you used to hold as resistance, and you've even held it as support before with this little fake break below it, but support there. Significant area to hold. So that, I don't think you're going to go lower than that, you know, even if this November drop does take into effect. And if I delete this line, you're right in the sweet spot, man. Like right there. So beautiful. Actually, on a closing basis, you held your 618 very well. So once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Yeah, looks good. So probably, and then the 382 is up at about $38. Maybe you go that high in a very short amount of time. Maybe it's by the end of the year. I don't know. I would think by the end of this year, you're probably going to be around, probably above $38. But within the next couple weeks, look for that $28 to $30 area. That's what I would say. It looks good. Looks good. 4 hour looks good. Daily looks good. Yeah, I like it. Okay, moving on from there, we're going to be talking about WTK and PLI for Mr. Benji. We'll start with WTK. WTK USD. I know it had a shit today. Yep. Big old shit. I guess it had a shit yesterday, and it is continuing to shit today. This is like some of that November drop I was talking about across the boards. You know, and WTK is a low cap coin. Low cap coins tend to get hit the hardest. There will be some low cap coins that don't get hit as hard, and they might even go up, but it doesn't say it's. That's not right. Let's see. What is it? WTK. WADZ Pay, market cap 18.1, 18.2 million. Yeah, low cap for sure. Nice run. More volume coming down. That could be a not good thing. But look at this, right? You're doing, I think I made a video talking about this, and I might have assumed that it would go a little bit lower. I forget where I said it would top off at, but I was saying, you know, you had your high here, it would make sense if you kind of continue that, right? You connect the dots, you've got this like ascending trend. You're at like the top of this channel. So if you come all the way back down and touch the bottom of it, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. If you want to buy this thing, it's a good thing. It's a bad thing if you wanted to buy it up here and you did buy it up here. I've been advertising to everybody to not FOMO in the tops and wait for these drops. Even if I've been saying that I think things will go higher, I definitely have not been advocating for a buy. This might be a better time to buy. You're at about 33% down, and the average drop from top to bottom was 34% in the previous like cycles. The average drop, so it's not like it's not every drop. It's just the average, you know. And that's again all the more reason to watch this video here or this video, you know, as to why I got those numbers. But I'm not going to talk about that there. We got a lot to talk about. But from top to bottom, you've dropped 50% exactly, huh? There's some bots trading this shit, man. It's on BitTrue, it's on one exchange, and it's, you know, it's on DEXs as well, of course. But that might be why it's so, I don't want to say manipulated, but easy for the price to be moved, right? There's only one order book. It's on BitTrue. That's the only order book there is so far. I would bet if this thing is legitimate, if it gets listed on exchanges, you're going to see some kind of like big explosion, right? This might be the area where exchanges are accumulating, but they're not going to buy it up here, right? They're going to maybe manipulate it down and then buy here whenever the people that bought up here panic sell. When really there's no reason to panic sell, because again, as long as you hold this like trend, you're not looking too shabby. Let's see. You were pretty overbought. Yeah, pretty overbought, man. And you dropped out of it. Yeah, I think you probably go lower. Probably. If we take this low to this high here, bounced off your 50. That's kind of crazy. This is a coincidence. It's not like this happens often, but you're at your 0.5, and from top to bottom you dropped 50%, which is 0.5, right? That's kind of crazy, but good coincidence. You probably go down to this 618, 69 area. Assuming it happens over like the course of the next week or two, maybe that could actually line up very well with this like ascending trend line on the bottom. Yeah, right in there. I would look for that, probably around 2 cents to 2.2 cents, somewhere in that zone. That's what I would think. You're probably on your way there now. The daily RSI, very hot, man, very hot for a while. But when you're overbought for this long, you definitely see some repercussions. And man, the volume picking up as you're moving down would lead me to believe that you're going to go to your next like relevant price area, which I guess you kind of already did, didn't you? But down here, oh, you probably don't go that low. Okay, so yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah, maybe like in the middle of this range. That's something we could do. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see if this lines up from top to bottom. Look at that, the 0.5. If you guys have seen the channel, if you've watched the channel enough, you know I've talked about this. I've mentioned this before. I haven't mentioned it in a while, but if you take a previous price range, which like I feel like, you know, from here to here, this is kind of its own price range. This is its own price range. Depending on how you want to look at it, I mean, this whole thing is in like a consolidation range of its own. But the 50% line, from top to bottom, it measures this range, right? So the 0.5 is literally the half of that range. It's very common to find support or resistance at previous price ranges halfway point, if that makes sense. Like you won't find support at the top of the range. You won't find resistance or support at the bottom of the range. You'll find it right in the middle. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do find it at the top. Sometimes you do find it at the bottom. But it's common enough. I've seen it happen enough times that if you take the halfway point of a range, that can be a very common area to look for. And the reason I'm saying that is that it's 2.2 cents from this high to this low. That is also just coincidentally right where your golden ratio, the 618, is. They literally overlap. So again, 2 to 2.2 cents would make a lot of sense to me. Anyways, that's what I got for WTK. Maybe you move up from here in like the more immediate term. Maybe you don't. I don't. You know, it could be a straight line if you start to pump up from here. Like if you're at 3 cents now and you went all the way up to 4 cents, don't get excited. Don't get excited. You found support up in this 4 cent area right here, right? That's you were bouncing off it right here. Put a line right there at 4 cents. like right there. Support, support, support. If you go back up here and reject it, that's nothing to get excited about. So, you know, controversially, if you can break above it, that might be. But again, then you have resistance here. You're really probably not in the clear, truthfully, until you break above about 4.6 cents, which is already close to that high. But again, just don't get too excited if you start to move up from here. I very much do believe you're going to see prices go lower than this. Moving on from WTK to PLI. PLI plugin, which I think is also on BitTrue. Yeah. Someone told me that there's something that they're doing with XDC. I forget. They're like implementing it on XDC or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting it confused with something else. But from low to high here, very nice bounce off your 69618 area. I don't like the rejection, the potential rejection that you're seeing on the 0.5 here. Generally, this kind of look would lead me to believe that you will go through this sweet spot and that you might find support somewhere down here. Just for how it looks right now, but that's not totally condemning. You know, don't get too scared just yet. There are some other scary things though that I'm seeing right here. So on the weekly RSI, you did reject the I guess that's like 46.7, around the 47 area, around the 50 area. It's also an area that you have found resistance before, right? Several times. So that doesn't look good. That would lead me to believe that you go lower, probably even lower than this low. Which isn't necessarily encouraging. Let's see, the daily RSI, you got up to your overbought zone area and had a little bit of a rejection out of it. Still looks kind of constructive though. I wouldn't say all hope is gone just yet. The weekly looks a little bit more condemning than the daily does. Volume's dying off. Let's see, top here to bottom. Holding that 236 as resistance. You know, it's really not common, you guys, to retrace to your 236 and reject from there. It happens. It's not like the rarest thing on the planet, but what's common is to go up to your 382, or at least in that area, and then go lower. When you see stuff like this, it's like a stronger indication that you are going to go down. Coming up here is already a strong enough indication, right? Like if you found resistance there and you were to go lower, that would be a strong enough indication in my opinion. But this is like you're so weak you can't even get up there. Your purple line's up there too. Maybe you do go up there. But I'm not, you know, with the way that things are right now, I'm not too optimistic. The 4-hour RSI is just neutral and nothing helpful there, so not going to pay too much attention to that. If I had to guess, I would say I think you are probably going to go lower than this low. I really like the bounce, man. I really do like this bounce from this low here, come on now, to this high, and this 61869 area holding as support. I do like that. I just don't like the rejection off the 0.5, which is also a previous area of support and a previous area of resistance here. Confirming that as resistance, which it isn't necessarily confirmed yet. Once you get below the 618, it will be confirmed, but I'm kind of leaning toward that. And if you do that, generally, you know, you grinded this so much. Like, yes, this was kind of your first pass, but you grinded it so much that I would say your odds of holding the 786 to 886 area would be good. If not, worst case scenario, you might form a double bottom all the way back down at about 1.5 cents. But I genuinely would expect somewhere around 2 to 2.5 cents is probably where you're going to find support. So down for PLI as well. So far, ETC is the only one that seems to be going up, you know. And if you get a lot of cryptos that are going down, you see one that looks like it's going up, that can be an indication that that one might go down too. But, you know, ETC has a lot higher of a market cap than any of these other ones we've talked about so far. But anyways, moving on, I think it goes lower, probably around that, what I say, 2 to like 2.5 cent area, something like that, 2.6 area. Next, we're going to be talking about JKL for Mr. Silos. JKL. USD. I cannot find it. Oh wait, Jackal. That's the one. Index Crypto Osmosis. That's the one. I'm fairly positive that's the one. Yeah. Jackal Protocol at 9.8 cents. That's the one, baby. Okay, cool. We got it. We got it, Silos. Very not good looking chart. Things have been bullish recently. You're down about 18% with that being said this week, but I don't like this. I really don't. It looks very mechanical. It looks artificial. And look at that, man. Top to bottom, rejected your 382 area. Potential rejection. It's not confirmed yet. Pair that with this potential rejection off of your overbought zone. It's not a good look. I would say best case scenario, you come back down to your 236 here, which would be around 6 cents. You're sitting at about 9.8 cents now, so maybe down to 6.1 cents. Previous area of resistance in itself, find support there, and then continue to go higher. That'd be a classic maneuver on a fib scale. That would be a very classic maneuver. Coming up to your 382, back down to your 236, and then continue higher. And maybe you go up to your 618 immediately. Maybe you go to your 0.5 and then come back to your 382. You know, who knows? But look for that. Look for that. Look for support around 6.1 cents. That would be my first initial opinion. Bearish divergence on the daily. Yeah, I think you do probably go lower. There's no volume, but who cares? It's okay. $6 million market cap. Definitely capable of going lower. You know, the structure itself on the price right here, all the bullshit besides like the past aside, this kind of looks nice. It kind of does look constructive. So at which case I would give you the benefit of the doubt that you do hold support somewhere at previous areas of resistance. Yeah, I mean that wouldn't be crazy at all. If you do go lower than that 236, it's probably still okay as long as you're holding prices above 5.6. If not, you could stand to go all the way down to your 6.9 or form a double bottom or go to new lows. What are you doing on this right here? Let's see. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe you go, yeah, like right in like this area as well, somewhere around like 4 to 3.78 cents, somewhere around there. I would think that you probably hold that 6 to 6.2 cent area. That's what I'm thinking. You go a little bit below this 382, that's common, it happens enough, and then come back up, overall holding some resilience in this area. Yeah, probably lower first and then higher. We're going to be talking about ARB too, which it's not Argo blockchain. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, I forget what it is, ARB on Solana. I don't think I can pull it up here. Oh, it's not Arbitrum. That's what it was. Sorry, I said Argo. I meant Arbitrum. It's not Arbitrum. What is it? What was it? It was... which one was it? Silos? I forget, man. ARB. Because I remember it wasn't Arbitrum. Let me see. Let me see if I can find this. ARB Solana. ARB protocol. Okay. No. ARB protocol. Okay. I don't think I could find this on TradingView. I think the last time I made a video it was through CoinGecko, so we're just going to do that real quick. Looks good for a coin that I can't really chart out. Okay, here we go. A little bit worse now. Let's go to the max. Yeah, just inevitable death spiral into nothingness. Let me see here. Yeah, you got a low. Maybe you go up higher, but all in all, you've had higher lows and lower highs. Or lower highs and lower lows, I'm sorry. You are, I don't know if you're fully diluted or not. Let's go, let's see on here. ARB protocol. Self-reported circulating supply is 50 million. You have 555 million. I don't like stuff like this, man. I really don't. I don't know enough about the tokenomics to say that it's a scam, but if you had a scam, you would have some circulating, and then you'd have some, or most actually, left in a wallet or locked up somewhere that whenever you want to pull the rug, that you'd be able to do that. And I'm not saying that that's what this would be, but that's how most scams look. And there are plenty of legitimate coins that are not fully diluted, but this ratio of circulating supply to diluted supply, or withheld supply, is concerning to me, at least. I'm not encouraged by that, and that honestly might be why you've done nothing but go down. New coins are being put into the market, price literally, like, if demand stays the same but new coins are being put into the market, demand stays the same but supply goes up, price is just going to go down inevitably. To get to the same price as before, you're going to have to see a tremendously higher market cap. I wonder if we look at the market cap itself, we don't have enough data. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, I don't like this thing, man. It does look good relatively in the short term, right? Looks like it's going up. Volume's coming in a little bit. Can I look at the market cap on a short term? No, it doesn't want me to. I don't know what that's about. I would just stay away, man. If you're invested in it, good for you. Maybe don't sell, but I wouldn't buy it here. I'd wait for a pullback or something like that. Maybe you know something I don't know. If it's a legitimate thing, having a market cap that's worth $2 million, or it's $2,000. It's got a $2,000 market cap. There's a lot of potential for sure, but I don't know, man. I wouldn't put a whole lot in this thing. Like, with this kind of potential, it's at a $2,000 market cap. Okay, if you were to take this up to a $2 billion market cap, or a $1 billion even, but let's say $2 billion to make the numbers easy. 2,000, 10x would be 20,000, 100x would be 200,000. A 1,000x would be 2 million. 10,000x would be 20 million. 100,000x, 1 millionx. Like, a 1 million, you could put $1 in this thing, and if it sees a $1 billion market cap, you could see. But see, now that's not true, because a lot of it's not diluted. So as it dilutes, maybe the market cap could do a 1 millionx, but the price itself probably doesn't do that. All the more reason why I would just say stay away, man. I don't like it. I personally don't like it. I'm gonna stop talking about it. I can't chart it really, so that's all I got. It does look good, relatively speaking, right now. I don't know if I would sell it, but I definitely would not be buying it here. I'd wait for a pullback if I was to buy it at all. Moving on from there, for Corey Martinez, we're talking about Ethereum, the potential for Ethereum. ETH, USD on Coinbase. So beautiful. Wow. Everything else shit the bed yesterday, or it got stifled a little bit, went up and went down. But not ETH. Not ETH, huh? I heard there was some like news story or something. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was like talks about an Ethereum ETF, I think is what it was. I forget. Maybe that's what it is. I think that's what it is, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't think anything's getting proposed right now. I think it's just like there's talks of it being proposed. Buy the rumor, sell the news, right? Then this is why they say buy the rumor, because shit pumps on rumors. And then the expectations are normally not met whenever the news actually hits, so that's why you sell the news. Anyways, looking at this right now, Ethereum, very bullish. I think my last video I was pretty bullish on this because of this bounce off this area here on the weekly. You normally would see this go to the oversold zone, so seeing a bounce right here, to me, is a testament of its strength. You're in the overbought zone right now, which is actually a good thing in my opinion. Continue prices here, hold prices here, continue to build up. You're at an area where it would be essential to keep going. If you could hit this purple line, that'd be nice, but really if you could get above it and maybe like meander around here, find support on it as this purple line develops, and then continue, that'd be really nice to see. Let's see what you're doing on your fibs here. I'll delete this. See, top to bottom. More or less constructive. More or less. I mean, with the way this looks, I would think you're moving up to about 25 to 28.5. which I'm fairly positive is what my analysis was on the last video I made. That wouldn't be crazy at all. Maybe you move up here and then you move to your purple line. You don't have to, just because I was saying you move up and then meander on it here, doesn't mean you have to. Maybe you just make a straight move up and then come back to your purple line, something like that. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good for now. Assuming, again, that November drop doesn't affect Ethereum too much. I do think that cryptos across the board are going to see a significant dump from their high in November to where that low will take them. It won't be like the low of November, but the low from the high. But Ethereum is number 2. So if the average altcoin is going to drop 34%, which we derived that from the total 2 chart, then I would think Ethereum doesn't drop as much. Ethereum could drop 15% or 10%, which really from here would just be a healthy pullback, healthy buy the dip kind of scenario. Very overbought on your RSI on the daily. Nice to see. Very nice to see. Strong readings for sure. Hell yeah. I mean, you have turned around in these areas before. I don't know, man. With the way the fib looks, I would think that you continue going higher. I really would. The volume is there. It looks nice. Very resilient. You're at an area where you're potentially breaking out, right? You found like a top in this area before, a top here. You're doing it again, man. A lot less volume than either of these other times. Let's see what you got going on the USDT chart. Yeah, still not that much volume. I guess, actually. It's a little bit more volume than you had on this last peak. This is better from a volume perspective. It's definitely better on the Binance chart, which to me matters more. This Binance is the biggest exchange in the world. It's going to have the most volume, but the USDT pair on Binance for anything it's the most traded pair. So that's that, because instead of US dollars, holding USDT for a lot of people in crypto is more reasonable, because you can send USDT and it's accepted as US dollars across the world in many different areas for many different purposes. So why have your bank account connected when you could just have a USDT wallet connected? That's probably the reasoning behind that. But anyways, who really knows why the USDT pairs are traded so much? Some people say it's because that's a way for them to manipulate it. Maybe all of it's true, maybe none of it's true, maybe some of it's true. I really don't know, but I do think that this looks more encouraging. All the more reason to believe that you probably do continue to go higher. Again, around that 25 to 28.5 level, 2,500 to 2,850 level, somewhere up there. And then we could talk about you taking a break. But right now, things look good for Ethereum. Keep in mind, again, guys, this November drop could affect Ethereum. It might affect it to a smaller degree, but it could affect Ethereum. It's not necessarily a good time to buy here, because you are at previous areas of resistance, previous areas of resistance, previous areas of support, which could be resistance. It's not a great time to buy. I definitely wouldn't sell here, but if I was looking to buy, if you're okay with losing money, then buy here, sure. If you want a DCA, go ahead and buy here. But if it was me, as much as I really do think this thing's going to continue to go higher from here, I would wait for a pullback. Maybe it goes higher and then it pulls back just above this price here. I would still rather buy that pullback than I would buy here, because what if it does the pullback now? Like, that would just suck. I would much rather feel confident in buying it a little bit higher than not feeling confident here and like staying up all night checking the charts. You know who you are, Stana. Anyways, looking at what are we doing here? Looking at BLZ to finish it all off. All right, we're at the end of this already for Sampa Farugia. We are talking about this one for you, Sampa. BLZ USD on Binance. Yeah, let's do Binance. I love Blue Zell, man. Just gotta say it. I love it. I really do. I wish I was holding some. I don't have any at the moment, guys. I am gonna let you know whenever I buy some. But I think my patience will inevitably have paid off. I don't think that I'm going to be able to buy at this low of an area. I had a chance. I had my opportunity right here to buy this low, and I missed it. But the next low, I'm going to snatch it up, man. I'm going to snatch it up for sure. I have buy orders right now layered. I really only have 2 buy orders, actually. One at 24 cents on the dot and one at 20 cents on the dot. And earlier today, I was talking in the Discord about, you know, getting my initial buy at 24 cents and not playing around with this thing and just going all in at 20 cents. For, not all in like my whole bag, but just my whole bag for Bluezell, right? Like all in for what I want to put into Bluezell. I have various amounts of cash or cryptos set aside for, you know, for those specific cryptos. For Bluezell, the bag that I have for Bluezell, what I was saying earlier in the Discord was that I'm going to buy at 24 cents and then go all in at 20 cents, assuming that it would still go lower, but I'm just not playing the game. And I'm going back and forth between that, man, whether I want to do that or not. I'll let you guys know. I'm fully transparent with it. None of this is financial advice. It's just like my opinions and literally what I'm doing with my own money. But none of it's financial advice, and I'm not, I'm more than willing to be transparent about almost anything on here, obviously. I'm not one of those people that's just going to like say things without backing it up. But let's see here. My computer's about to die. I got to plug it in. Okay, so what we have is bearish divergence on the weekly. We still have 2 days and 19 hours left before this is confirmed. Right now it's just a look. If this week can close green, that look, it's still there, but it's not. It's a lot less condemning than it looks now. Right now, not only do you have bearish divergence potentially, but you also have potentially a bearish engulfing candle up here. Volume has died off as you've climbed. That's not a good look on Binance as well. If we go to the USDT chart to make sure that we got the right one, volume's dying off. Definitely not a good look. On the daily, bearish divergence, volume's dying off as you're moving up, not a good look. We finished yesterday with the bearish engulfing candle. In fact, that was the biggest candle we'd seen really since the end of October. So in about 2 weeks' time, that's like the biggest candle we've seen. Not a whole lot of volume though, which is I guess not a bad thing, but it could be the beginning of something greater to the downside. Maybe we go to 22 cents. That's where this 382 is. At 24 cents. Why was I buying at 24? I think it's because this low to this high, yeah, 24 cents is the 61869 area. Almost had my first order hit. I'm probably going to move my 20-cent order. I'm going to keep some at 20 cents, but I'll probably move like half of it down to 17 cents. I might, because on this weekly, where the divergence started was back here at this weekly close, and that weekly closed at 17.84 cents. So maybe I'll move it down to 18 cents actually. See, this is where I get in this discussion with myself, where I'm like, 20 cents, 18 cents, who cares? Stop playing the game. Just get in, just get in it. I really am going back and forth. I'm not trying to be like secretive or dismissive about what I want to do, guys. I'm just, it's not always easy, Especially when I had the chance to buy this shit at 11 cents, and now it's sitting at 25 cents, okay? By the way, congratulations to all the BLZ holders. I think you guys will be very happy with how this thing's going to do in the coming bull market. I think this thing, it's at 25 cents now, you guys. I genuinely believe that it has the opportunity, the possibility, a strong chance to see a $100 price, if not $10 below that, maybe $10 above that, somewhere in that area. Surely a 100x or more from here is, and I say surely, nothing's definite. I'm not a financial advisor. I've said that a few times throughout this video, but I do think that it has a lot of potential. We're sitting at 25 cents now. Okay, even to 250 would be amazing, but I think we're going to go a lot higher than $2.50. Let's see, from top to bottom here. Oh yeah, this is the USDT chart. I want to go to the USD because it's got all the historical data. Yeah. Top to bottom here. I mean, 1272 is at $1.42. Your 1618 is at $3.70. That'd be like the minimum expected zone. But for how well this thing's performing right now, I think you're definitely going to go deeper, man. Probably to these deeper extensions anywhere and everywhere between the 2272 and the 22 or the 2886, somewhere in that zone. Is what I would ultimately see. by the end of this cycle, but more relative to now. Looking at this 4 hour, weak RSI on the 4 hour. You're hugging your purple line. That's not a good sign. I guess you did have volume pick up a little bit as you moved down, huh? Definitely a breakout to the downside. It's more clear on the 4 hour. I wish I started with this instead of rambling about my opinions on this thing. And this is still my opinion nonetheless, but definitely a bearish look on the 4 hour, top to bottom here. Wouldn't you? I love it, man. Like, you literally bottom to top fib extension. You bounced right off your 1618 extension, your golden extension itself. And now you're battling it out with the 1272. You probably go lower. This kind of look would promote the idea that you would see deeper extensions, which would at least be to your 1786, 1886, which, surprise, surprise, is just below 24 cents. If not, even deeper extensions to your 2272 to 2618 area, which would be around 22 to 21 cents. And you could go lower than that. This is a very small fib scale, right? It's a it doesn't look like it on the 4 hour, but on the daily you can't even really distinguish where that is. What I would say the more significant fib scales would be this low to this high. The 382 is at 22 cents. Hey, that lines up with some stuff. And then this one here from top or bottom to top, potentially looking at the extensions, right? Because here you are at the 618. If you break through this on your first pass, the likelihood of seeing these extensions come into play goes up a lot, and that minimum extension would be around 17.4 cents, potentially all the way down to like 14.5 cents. And I know so far the lowest buy order I've talked about was at like 18 cents, right? A little bit below that. But I definitely think you could go lower. You know, this is where your divergence started, right? Was at 17.8 cents, but you could absolutely go lower. If we look at this on a weekly, and we go from this low here to this high, your 382, which Blue Zell loves its 382. We've seen it bounce off that plenty of times, you guys. That's at 15 cents. It's at 15 cents. It could go down to its 618 even. That prices below 10 cents, you guys, are still completely possible, but I'm not holding my breath for this shit. I'm not. I definitely would expect, if I had like a minimum expectation that wouldn't surprise me, I would say probably around 15.5. Or I say minimum, maybe maximum drop expectation. From top to bottom, what would that do? That'd be a pretty big 54% drop. You know, again, the average is going to be 34%, something like that. But that doesn't even take us to the 236. I would think we would at least go there, which is right at like 21 cents. But it's very common to see that 382, man. So, and then beyond that, again, you have this bearish divergence sliding up on your weekly, on your daily. Volume is picking up actually as you're going down, and it's more visible on the 4 hour. 4 hour RSI does look weak, so I think we're just getting started. If things go up, I forget which one I was saying this about earlier, but if things go up, don't get excited. Might have been XDC that I was talking about, I forget, but if it goes back up even to like 28 cents, you're at 25 cents now, don't get excited. All you've been doing is having lower highs and lower lows since you formed this high here, so until you change that, I wouldn't get excited. At that point, we get a higher high, I might just FOMO in at the top, man. But hopefully nobody who's manipulating the markets is hearing this. You know, no, I don't know, man. I don't know if I believe in manipulation. I mean, I do believe that there's manipulation involved, but like, if you were a billionaire and you threw $100 million on the open markets into this thing, you would technically be manipulating it to the upside, but like, are you? Or are you just throwing in $100 million of your own money? Like, buying and selling is manipulation. Yeah, I don't know. I think that there is like true manipulation that goes on, but it might not be as often as we think, right? I think the real manipulation comes from the media, not from people buying. And I mean, sure, people buying and selling too, but mainly the media casting fog on our emotions. But I detest. This video has gone on long enough. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. Out of all these coins, the only ones that I have hope for are cousins, and they are Ethereum Classic and Ethereum 2.0, Ethereum, as we know it now. So those are the only ones that look like they want to continue higher, which is good. That's actually good for altcoins. You know, if they go up and then altcoins stay stagnant or even they drop, and then Ethereum and like starts to chill at a certain level, that gives altcoins breathing room to catch up. The liquidity shifts from Ethereum into altcoins. That's how you see altcoin cycles start, man. Anyways, down for Blue Zell. I think it's going lower. That's all I got to say. So if you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thank you all for coming. I know it was a long one today, but we had a lot to talk about. I didn't want to make a dozen videos. I wanted to try to keep it all in just one video so you guys aren't getting hammered with notifications. And then you can just click through, you know, and see which ones you want to observe. Anyways, take care. Bye-bye. See you on the next one.